friends, it's Stephanie from Behind the Designs, and today I am going to be doing a quick video on setting up my April currently and month pages in my memory a day or memory journal, creative journal, planner, however you want to call it. I do have a I did it on wax paper first, and the reason is because I was going to do this 2 days ago and our power cut out as soon as I was about ready to sit down and do it. So I've already pre-done some of the work in finding stickers, but I'll pull that out in a minute. So as you know, with my memory a day, on my currently page, I always try to, if I can get these over here, I try and include at least 2 photos from my Canon Ivy. So I know I'll be at least using 2 of them, so I'll set this one aside. I have my April month, and I know I've talked about the planners that I use for the memory a day. I normally, and I do, I'm not saying I don't, I do like seasonal planners. So when I do the memory a day, I like to have that seasonal look on the tab. But as I kind of got into not reusing, but starting a memory a day again, is I started with the I don't remember the name of the planner. Anyhow, so I started with it, and it's kind of got that just neutral, sort of black and white type theme with some tans and so forth. So I started with that planner, and I kind of don't mind it because it leaves me the ability that when I have my currently page open, I'm still getting, enough of a seasonal vibe. Because again, I always do it seasonal. So I do kind of still like this planner. That's a sidebar. So I have got my tweezers, and I've got a few pens. I've got a Tombow 977. I have my Micron 01, and I did pull out a brown mild liner. We'll see if I use that. And I may still even pull in some more pens as I go along, pens and markers. And then I have these seasonal books. So I have this seasonal, and that's a big one. So it's got all the stickers in it. I have the Essential Holidays and then the Seasonal 1607. So most of the images or stickers I'm using is coming out of here. So this is the sheet I started to use. I have some I'll be pulling over for this. So I'm going to kind of jump right in. Let's see. I'm going to do the month first. So let me get this set aside so I can get this open. As you can see, maybe, let's see. So I think you can see it a little bit. I kind of already started tracing some eggs. And to do that, all I did was I just went online and I kind of grabbed an egg-shaped image and I just traced it on there. You all know I can't draw for the life of me, so I just let Google give me those images. So I am going to start going through, and I'm going to trace these out. And I will speed this part up only because, as I start to do this, because I need these done to do the second part, which is the stickers. And it's just tracing. So I'll do that. I'll run it through, and then we'll be back on regular speed. Okay, so I went ahead and traced them out. And then when I got down here, you saw me pull out my Sharpie marker because this is the glossy part of the tab. So I wasn't sure if my crayon would stick to it. So I went ahead and just did a permanent ink just in case. So that part's done. Now I do have a banner up at the top that I'm kind of debating on. So I'm gonna leave it for a moment. I'm gonna pull over my stickers because this is kind of what I'm going to be doing. So there is another part of this idea that's kind of involved. So I think I'm going to start with the eggs because I do have an additional thing with these letters that I'm doing. So let me start over here. When I get to the middle, around the edges, I'm going to do something. Okay, so let's do this. And what I did was I just tried to pick different colors. So these letters are in the big sticker book, and they didn't have like a variety of the colors. Like there were other colors, but for all the letters I needed, they didn't really have a whole bunch. So I tried to get them as close as possible to the rest, of the look. So I'm just kind of going for a lighthearted, pastel-y, fun spring look. I've already springed out my nails because I like to do, nice pastels. And I am super into right now. I always love purple colors. And as you know from my craft room tour, my walls are purple. So, all right, this little guy went over here. And with that, of course, I like all shades of purple. So I'm kind of into that purple vibe right now with spring, and I get the nails done. Okay, so with these letters, I am going to use, excuse me, let me try and get some of this out of the way. Let's try that. Okay, so with the letters, you can see the letters are plain. What I did was I took my number 10 jelly roll and I went through and I put a few dots on it. And I thought it just added a little something extra to the cuteness of this, letter layout. So I'm just going to go through and give them a little bit of white dots all over for a fun little spring vibe. I love dots. And there's something about having, your spring out in the decorations, and I don't know, you add in the dots and it just gives it a little extra kick, I feel like. You're either someone who likes them or you don't. So I'm just going to scatter these around, no rhyme or reason. And see how much it gives it a nice new look? I think it's really adorable. So I was quite pleased with this idea. And today, and it may be brighter on, filming this, it is a nice, bright, sunny day. So that's another reason I'm glad this should be a quick video, because I'm going to get out and get some sun. I'm going to get some walking in. I hope you get out as well if it's sunny in your area. And actually when I was working on this was Sunday, and we had a terrible rainstorm come through. It was a thunderstorm, but it also turned into this windstorm, and the wind was just wicked. So, and of course that cut our power out. So just at the point at which I was about ready to do the video, the power went out. And then of course you work on other things and it has to get tabled. So it is what it is. Oops. So see how much cuter that looks with the white dots on the letters? I love how it turned out. So I'm going to let that dry for a second, and I'm going to come back over to this page. And oh, you know what? I still have a few on this page. Let me pull it back. I kind of fibbed. So let's see. I do think these I can get in there because they're not going to interfere with my other plan. So I am going to get this one here. And then I have this cute little chick in a broken egg. And I'm going to get this one, hopefully without hitting those dots. I'm going to get this little guy right here. And then let me see. I had that for Easter. So that one must have been on the 15th. No rhyme or reason. Isn't that tax day? Is it the 15th? Yes, tax day. And then I'm just going to fold that over. And I think I'm going to put this one here. And then I do have, it's a bit big for the space, but it'll work. This cute little bunny is going to go on Easter. And what's nice is the word Easter just comes right through his, because it's a transparent sticker. So that worked out perfect. Now over here is a different story. So let me get this one up here because I know where the rest of them go. That was on the 12th. And okay, probably when I may have to lift this one. Let me lift it. I realize now why I didn't put it down. I have my little thing I'm going to do. All right, so here's what I am going to do. I'm going to take this one off. We're just going to put it back on there. What I do need over here is this basket. So let me go ahead and get this on because this is going to be the basis for what I do next. All right. So let's see. And this one I may have to peel up a bit. Now, if you noticed, I did already white out a few lines in the boxes that were open. I am actually going to, I think, trim off or trim away some of the clear sticker around the edge just because I need it as close as I can get it. And then maybe I won't have to lift it up. Oops. And this is just an idea. I have no idea if it's going to work, but we're going to give it a try. Okay, so there's one part, and that's going to go along there. I'm going to do the bottom as well. Okay, it should only be this one sticker. So let's see. Let's get this on because it is the basis for what I'm going to do. Okay, let me leave this just slightly like that. Okay, so here's where the delicate part comes in because I didn't really plan this out. Okay, what I want to do is do a kind of a wreath around the calendar box. So I'm going to do that with two different browns, and then I got to go through and white it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that, and I'll fast forward this part because it may be kind of long. So that's what I'm going to start off doing. So let's do this. Okay, so this is part 1 of this. I'm just fixing my point on my mild liner. I do press a little hard, so I just wanted to make sure that point was fixed. Okay, so this is part 1, which is, I kind of wanted to have that little, not grapevine wreath, you know what I mean? Like a little border around here. That's part 1. The part 2 of that is going to be quite long, and I may or may not do that. So part 2 of that idea was to go through with my number 10 jelly roll, and in all the places where it isn't a brown mark was to basically wash it out. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna like that, so I may not do that on this video, only because again, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like how that looks. So let me go ahead and get these put down so that I can finish over here. Okay, now we can get this egg in over here. And it's kind of darker on the bottom for some reason. Okay. And we'll just get this one here. I'll try and make it near the mark, but not over. Okay. Then I have this for over here. These two. Okay. And then this is done. So over here, I was going to put this, which now that I look at it, now I can see it's going to kind of cover it. I think I'll let it be. And then I had just this little bit left. And all I was going to do was just kind of space it out and then put it down. That's it. And on this basket, there is a little chick sticker. It was not on the basket. I just added it. So for right now, this is this spread. I do have this penciled in banner, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that because then I feel like maybe it'll be too much. So I'm going to rest on that for a minute. I'm just going to set this aside. And that's going to be the basis for this page. So in this case, I could do the banner here. Or maybe what if I did like an individual one? Yeah, something like that. I'll have to figure this out. So what do we got? We have orange, pink. I'm looking at these letters. I definitely think pink. Let's see. Let me get this. These are some new marker colors, mild liner. So that's a nice pink. I do like pink that isn't necessarily neon. We have purple. Let's see. That'll do. Orange. I think this is more gold than orange. It's more like a goldenrod. Let's try this one. Might be more neon though. I'll use it if I need to. Not sure though. Okay. So for over here, I'm going to kind of mimic the same idea, except I was going to do the same thing around this, which will be easier because there's not that border. So let me do that first. Let me get the sticker down because that's going to tell me how much room I have. And I'll probably come back to those stickers. So let's leave it open. So this one here, I'll do a little dot. How about that? So if this one goes here, so if we do it to there, we need it to, let's do it to the box. About there. About. I'm just crudely measuring here. We'll just say there. Okay, oops. No, don't stick down. Okay. I hope this doesn't rip. Ooh, that was stressful. Okay, let me just set this aside and let's get this border in. Okay, my little corner over here got a little weird, but that's okay. So now we're going to get this in. And I do need to put something up here, and I know what I'm going to put up there. So let me first get my tape. All right, that might be a little easier. So let's go ahead and take this out. Okay. And my curled up Easter basket. Okay, so now that it's curled, it's going to be a little harder to get on there. But let's give it a shot. A few little spots were showing, but that's okay. All right, so what I want to put up here is one of these flowers. And since I'm in the purple mood, let's do purple. Should I do a smaller one or the bigger? Let's do the bigger. And that will be that corner. So festive. Okay, so let's do, I'm still on this orange color. Because every orange I have seems to be neon. What's up with that? Is this neon? This is a Sharpie color. Let's see. No, that's more true to orange. So let's use that one. So all I want to do is give it some color. So there's the orange. Then we have pink. And then purple. Let's just give it the color works. How about that? And then over here, I want to get this bunny down. And I'm going to also throw in some other flowers. I like that idea. He's going on, and that's how he's going to go on. Okay, so I do have these other flowers, and I'm looking at this idea. So what if I do this instead? Because let's use up the flowers. And then I definitely need to get some eggs on here as well. All right, so let's put this one here. And then how about, let's see, we have orange and yellow, which I didn't use yellow. That's all right. I think I'll leave that like that. Where's my tape? We're going to cover up priorities and important. Right now, I'm not going to put any header on that. I do different things in these boxes each month, depending on what's happening in the month. So I kind of want to hold off on that. Let me jump back here quickly because I am going to erase this banner idea. I don't want to take away from the wreath part, so I am just going to forego this and do a different idea. Okay, there's one half. And I will get those dusties off. Let's get this side. And then we'll finish up and we'll be done. Okay, so that should work out. So I'm not done with the currently page yet, but since I had used that floral at the top, I kind of wanted to bring these florals over on the other side. Again, just for continuity of the pages. So we'll put that one there. This one's much bigger, so let's see how much of it I can get on. That worked out well. Let's just trim this top off. Okay. Yes, that works out well. Okay, let me come back here. And let's see. So I think on this page, I want to add in just this cute little chick down here. And then that's it for that page, I think. Now what'll happen is as the month fills in, typically this isn't filled in until after I've done the whole month. So what I'll do is I'll come back in and I will add in pictures. So for this picture, I might cut it a little bit or lift this and re-stick it over. But basically these two pictures will go here. I'll have, like maybe my top 3 memories, or maybe there'll be additional memories that, there was more on one day than I had space for. So I'll put it over here. And then over here just might be a little message that I write to, whoever sees this in the future, my daughter or other family. And I think it's pretty much done. I gotta say, let me show you this. So in this book, the Seasonal 1607, it's kind of an OG book, but it is, look at all these cute little bunnies and the umbrellas. They're so cute. I cannot, I can't not use Easter. I love all the colors. You know me, I love the colors. So instead of, now that I saw this, instead of putting a message here, I think I'm going to use that to say Happy Easter. Because this will likely be of our Easter dinner. So let me just go ahead and put that right there. Keep it sweet and simple, right? Okay, so that's it for that. I've used the letters and I have my eggs done. So let's kind of get some of this out of the way. I have a lot going on over here. We got scissors and okay. So can I get this all in here? That is the big question. I think in the past I was able to, so let me give it a try. So we've got these pages. This one will go about here. This one will go about here. Okay. So here is my, and I'm over here leaning on the stickers over here. Let's just kind of stick those up there so that you can get a last glance at them. Okay. So I have my currently and my month pages all set up for my Memory a Day creative journal. And I love how it came out. I'm still on the fence about whether I'll white out that border around the whole calendar. I'm not sure yet. So I'm going to leave it for now and I'll marinate on it. So, but I am now all set up for April in my in my creative journal, Memory a Day, currently in month. And I'm, excited for spring. Spring's coming in a couple weeks and I'm excited for April. We get family together and we have a nice dinner. It's a great day. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you're looking forward to it too. And I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you like this video, I hope you hit the like button. And if you want to see more of my videos, hit the subscribe button as well as the bell icon. And then you know when I post my next video. That's it for today.